Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday, the 12th of April, Gary.
It is Tuesday the 12th of April, Phil, and it is very busy out there on the real estate
Gary,
market.
who cares about how busy it is? It's the 12th of April, it's Tuesday, and it's 2 days before I'm out of here.
Oh, I don't know who's more excited, you or me. I think it might be me.
Viewers, you're going to have to miss me for a couple of weeks. Gary's going to have a stand-in, I would imagine, on GPTV because I will be out of here for 2 weeks, unavailable, not available to help you with GPTV. I don't know how you're going to get through the show, Gary.
Get ready for quality viewing, viewers, because he's finally gone. We're getting rid of him, thankfully. So you're going to have 2 good weeks. I think the ratings will go through the roof, Phil.
May well.
2 great weeks of GPTV where I'll actually get a word in.
Have you
and
worked
common
out-
sense will prevail.
Have you worked out who your stand-in is going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, going to talk about it on screen,
No,
or is
it's
it
none
just
of-
going to be? It's just going to be a little bit of an excitement
It's
for viewers
surprise,
watching.
and quite frankly, it's none of your
Well,
business.
Gary segued to surprise. It was no surprise that Gary Peer and Associates smashed the industry clearance. We're going to get straight into the towers. We had an
What are those-
85% clearance.
How about that?
Against an industry average of 70%, Gary.
Yeah, still good, 70%.
70%, nothing wrong with that, but 85%, smashing it out of the park with 12 auctions sold, Gary, from 14. So we had a good weekend.
It was good, Phil.
Interestingly, Gary, the only properties that we didn't sell were 2 lovely little apartments that have been now priced to sell.
And one was like $10,000 away, $15,000.
Yep, yeah, so we actually had interest on both of them.
Yes, we did.
But the only 2 properties that didn't sell were 2 apartments. So if there's any area of the market that's probably not running hot, it probably would be the
Tale of
apartments.
2 markets, Philip, isn't it? A little bit. But mind you, apartments are still selling, but not at the same rate of popularity.
Not with the same intensity, Gary.
Indeed, Philip. Let's talk about some of the results, Phil. On Thursday, you had a good fun doing that auction on Dandenong Road.
Well,
we might have some footage.
Gary, I think we do have some footage.
Going, sold, ladies and gentlemen. Please congratulate the
Now that was a great result. We sold 2 parcels of lands. We had 462 and 464 Dandenong Road combine to sell as one.
Now, how does that come together?
Okay,
right?
so
it's interesting background.
It's a good story. 2 neighbours living next door to each other decided to sell as one because when we're talking development sites, obviously the bigger the development sites, sometimes there's a premium.
Yes.
And interestingly, 466 Dandenong Road had sold on its own last year for around $1.9 million. So the big question really was...
That kind of underpinned the value, didn't it?
Did 2 properties together, was 1 plus 1
Is the
going to
whole
equal
worth more
3?
than the sum of the parts, Philip?
So 1.9 and 1.9 should have been a sale for $3.8
You're
million
right.
if we picked up where 466 left off. I hope this is making sense. Anyway,
long.
we sold the properties at auction for $4,362,000. So in essence, the vendors, by selling as one, picked up a premium each of $230,000
And were they
each,
comparable?
Gary. Well, they're identical.
identical.
Dandenong
There you go.
Road, identical size parcels
Actually, they
of
picked up
land.
more than that, Philip. They picked up more than $280,000 each.
No,
1.8.
No, Gary, $1.9 million.
Oh, 1.9.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's not that complicated.
Maths was never so good. In fact, I really loved grade 3 maths, Philip. The best 3 years I ever had.
But interesting story there, viewers, because we had a big crowd of developers there chasing it, and there was a premium by 2 neighbours coming together and selling as one. Lovely real estate story.
Phil,
Never had a story like that on GPTV, Gary.
It's high time we did, Phil. 4 Lynott Street. Now, that one sold, Philip, at $830,000 on Saturday. So well done.
Gary.
You did do that auction,
Great
Phil.
little spot there off Carlisle Street, and
It's a good spot.
little dead-end street with a bridge going over to a park. Interesting property.
You think so? The bridge story is a good one.
I've never sold a property. Actually, I did the auction, Gary, while
is that with a
standing on the
bridge?
bridge.
Really?
Because there's a big storm water drain going through.
Yes.
Our property's not next door. There was another one next door.
Yes.
But there's a bridge going over the storm water drain. It'd be quite fun when Melbourne's in flood. You can imagine standing on that bridge watching
all the cars float away. Very good, Philip. Well, I went under the bridge in the one that goes to Ormond, Philip, to get to Carnegie and then through to Bentlleigh East to the auction in Meylan Street. And the vendors are watchers of GPTV. They said, yes, we like that, that poor bit of humour about the Meylan put in the sentence. It says Meylan, not Moyle and.
Yes.
Anyway,
Well, a
Philip,
special shout out to those vendors
delightful
because they did
people.
phenomenally well, Gary.
Well, incredibly so, Phil. I think I've got some footage here of this auction because this was a massive crowd. Leo Samuel did an awesome job together with his brother Aviv and the team from the Carnegie office, Philip. And now this property was on the market at the top of its range, which was $1.6 million, and it sold for $1,760,000. Philip, the first bid was 1.6 for me.
Wow.
Real estate
Wow.
professional
Wow.
who we know and respect.
Wow.
Bought it for their clients, so well done. And what an exciting result. Phil, other sales, we're not going to go through them all, but on Sunday morning you were in Edinburgh Avenue. Not in Edinburgh, the
Sunday
country,
morning.
but in Edinburgh, not the city, but the street.
Well, Gary, that was the start of 2 auctions that I did that day.
The reserve
and-
there, $1,035,000.
Yeah, and we had 4 people contest that.
Sold
and
for?
we sold it for $1,245,000. So
Indeed.
hundreds of thousands of dollars above the reserve.
Well done.
And interestingly, because it was a single-story villa
It
home
was.
that was traditionally bought by older people. Now,
Yes.
the couple that did buy it are an older couple, lovely older couple,
Yes.
but a very traditional buyer for that. But yet the underbidders were quite young. In fact, we had a couple that was significantly younger, and then we had a young couple in their, I don't know, their late 20s or early 30s.
All the generations, Phil.
So the interesting thing about real estate in Caulfield, Gary, is no longer can you pigeonhole any piece of real estate. I moved on from there to a remarkable sale in Neerim Road, Gary, where another single-storey villa, but it was the size of a home, together with an indoor swimming pool.
Where we shot GPTV last week, Philip.
Gary, now is the price
Neerim Road.
undisclosed before
No,
I
it's
say
not.
it?
The reserve is not undisclosed because the reserve is 145, which
Yes.
is just at the top of our range, or a little over perhaps, and it sold for
$1,655,000.
Great job, Phil.
So
Great
another
job.
couple of $100,000 over the reserve, Gary. So that was my Sunday, just a 10:30 and 11:30, but fabulous.
Pretty successful Sunday, Philip. Both of my auctions sold. In fact, everything we had on Sunday sold, and Narrowong Road sold well for an undisclosed price in the morning, again with the Samuels. But Philip, Octavius Street, Caulfield North. Now, what an exciting auction that was. We sold that one. The reserve was 1.5, and the vendor would have reduced that had we recommended it. It was a very genuine sale, Philip. But interestingly, it had been the first time it had been sold in 79 years. Now, how's that?
79
That's
years.
up there,
Well, all
isn't
I
it?
can say is, you know, you might be thinking that's a nice real estate story. I say those vendors, and I'm told they're delightful people,
are.
but they have been terrible for real estate.
I
You
told them that too.
I mean, I've got to tell you, if you hold on to a property that long, real estate agencies across the planet will be closing
Out of
their
business.
doors.
Out of business.
Gary, I want to talk about that sale in Octavia Street because do you remember
Well, that's
how
what
many
we're
square
doing right now, Philip.
Do you remember how many square metres
I
of
do.
land it
Would you
was,
like
Gary?
me to tell you?
I'd like you to tell me right now.
650 is the number, Philip.
Okay, so it's on the south side
It
of
was, Philip.
Octavia Street.
Yes, indeed.
And I've got to tell you, it's year 2016.
It is,
you
you've got that.
I reckon in 2013, that would have sold for 1.250, maybe 1.3.
Yep.
So property prices have just skyrocketed.
That's like a 50% gain.
For land in particular. But, you know, there's lots of parts of Caulfield that have just been re-rated in price. Land is the hottest commodity.
Shall we mention the price we sold it for, Philip?
Why not,
Reserve
Gary?
was 1.5, sold for $1,790,000. There was 5 bidders there.
Almost $2 million for a parcel
Going
of
for
land,
it.
Gary.
I'm not surprised. Land is hot, and not getting any cooler.
It's the blank canvas, Gary, to which you can paint upon your dreams.
It is, Phil. Now, before we go any further, I'd like to talk about where we are right here, Phil, because we are at our property of the week. We are in Carnegie.
Before you go on to that, Gary, I'm just going to cut you off.
I'm so glad you're going away.
Special,
If you need to extend the holiday, feel free to.
You're going to love this story, Gary. I listed last week the most incredible house.
Yes.
And I'm not going to talk about it yet on GPTV because we're going to film GPTV from there.
Is this
But
the one that we were together or another one?
No, one of the best houses I think I've ever seen, I've listed. And a special shout out to Steve and Con, who are the developers of this house, together with their fantastic father Lambros. Now, I've got to tell you that not only have they created the most beautiful house, but they are also regular watchers of GPTV.
Is that right?
And they said to me when I saw them on Saturday, they said to me, how do you put up with Gary always giving it to you?
Oh, no way.
So
I get the worst end of the stick from you all the time.
I've got to tell you,
all the time.
Thank you guys for
They
bringing
couldn't
that
have
to
said that.
I'm telling you, clear as day, they said to me, he's always having a go at you.
So can I tell you what they said to me? Because they rang me the next day. No, it's
No,
not
they
true.
didn't.
They didn't. It's not true. But I think that's very untrue. Mind you, I've got to say this, by the way, Phil. Today, this episode, marks the 5-year anniversary of GPTV. We started this 5 years ago.
5 years ago, what, to the day?
Yeah, to this episode.
Really?
5 years, there you go. So,
I'm not sure how that works, but is it 5 years?
The way it works is that you count each year and then you add them up cumulatively and you get
Let's
5
just
years
have a
now.
quick flash up on screen of our first episode, how we looked.
Yeah, there we go.
Because 5 years has not been kind to you.
Well, do you know what? I asked a few people lately, because it's funny you say that. I've asked a few people, who do they think looks older?
Yeah.
And I can tell you now, no one thinks I look older than you. Everybody thinks you look older
I don't
than
know.
me. You're like my Uncle Phil.
You were clearly, and I say this with absolute...
And I reckon even the boys who are selling that great house would have to agree.
Clearly, and I say this with due respect to the people at this organisation, but clearly you were down at the Braille Library...
That's not true.
Around
That's not true.
Asking people.
They reckon you. I've heard that a lot of times. You know,
ridiculous.
It's okay. It's okay, Uncle Phil. Let's move on with the rest. Anyway, let's get on to this property here, because here we are, Phil.
Yeah.
Right in the heart of Carnegie. Now, this is, Leo Assemble does a great job in Carnegie, and he films the Carnegie Report.
Leo, but the entire team.
Yeah, he does, and he films the Carnegie Report, which comes out monthly. The next edition's coming out very soon.
Yes, Gary.
But Philip, we had to come here ourselves this time because this property is the most stunning property. We're here in Rigby Avenue. It just got open on the weekend, Philip. We had 47 groups of people. That's like 100 people, and I'm not surprised because this is stunning, Phil.
Do you know what, Gary? These properties, a lot of these properties like this,
if you can get them,
were built in the 60s and 70s.
Yes,
that's true. Most of these properties have not had anything done to them since the day they were built, and yet our vendors saw the vision. Because a lot of the properties built in the 60s and 70s have got great floor plans, solid brick as well.
Indeed.
So they have transformed this property, Gary, by giving it a 2016 overhaul.
Yes.
The bathrooms, of which there are 2, Gary, are completely stunning. But how about where we're sitting at the moment, which is this kitchen table overlooking the courtyard deck, which goes round to the landscape garden.
It's a big garden.
But extends around in this L shape. The kitchen is behind us, Gary, going through to the lounge dining room. This property... It's kind of family living, but with a 2016 Schmick overhaul.
That's a good wrap, Phil. I agree with you. It's got all those things, and it's in bustling, hustling, exciting. Carnegie, it just keeps getting better, Philip. But
it is, Gary.
I do love this property. You've wrapped it up and summarised it well. This one goes to auction soon. I've done the video tour here, Phil. I had a lot of fun doing that.
Yep.
And
I haven't watched one of your video tours in recent times. You're still stilted and kind of awkward.
Do you know the boys from those gentlemen that you were named before?
Stephen Conn.
Stephen Conn, yeah. I think what we're going to do next week is we're going to play a summary of your... I'm going to get the guys at Visual Domain to do. We're going to play a summary of all of the hell you've given me, and I'm going to change their thinking, Philip. We'll do a little summary of... Because it could be so good with your way. Because you started with me already with the sleeves. I got to have sleeves, my hair, my eyebrows,
I
chins.
must say, you've had a haircut.
Yeah.
You've had your eyebrows done, and you actually look good today.
They couldn't possibly think that I give you more stick than you give me.
That's what they said to me, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that, people are watching this show carefully.
Oh, let's talk about this week upcoming, Philip, because there's another weekend here. You're not going to be here. We're going to have a lot of fun without you,
Do you
Phil.
know where I'm going to be, Gary?
I know exactly where you're going to be, but tell the viewers.
Viewers, I am on a fact-finding mission of looking at real estate and the way it's sold and conducted. This is like a politician. You know how the politicians go on study tours?
Yes,
and they go to places where you think to yourself, what are they possibly studying?
Yes, they needed to go to Monaco to understand the French economy.
So I've got to tell you, Gary, I'm always interested in how we auction better and how our open for inspections are conducted.
Oh, yes.
And somebody told me that if you go to Portofino in Italy...
Do you think anyone's going to buy this rubbish?
They are the leaders. So the tax office is listening. Apparently, they are the leaders in open for inspection. So I will be going on the weekend to Portofino to see how the Italians conduct their open for inspections. Can you imagine, though, Gary, in Portofino, how schmick the agents would look?
I know they would.
They'd have white pants rolled up at the base with...
You reckon they'd give me stick at GPTV for my eyebrows, I tell you what.
Anyway, so fact-finding mission. Of course, it's going to be tax deductible. I will be working assiduously hard. Can I say assiduously hard? Does that make sense?
I don't know what that means.
I'm going to be working really hard to ensure that the standards of Gary Pitt and Associates are world standards.
Mr. Taxman, there'll be no tax deduction because nonsense. He's going on a holiday, and you know what? I'm glad he's going. It's going to be good. It's going to be good for you, good for me, good for the relationships. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Let's get into this weekend, Philip, because we've got...
What do we got, Gary? How many have we got?
We've got 13 of the finest properties without you being here to auction, Philip. Shall we go through them?
Whip through them, Gary.
Let's do it. Philip, a slightly later start this Saturday morning, 11:30. I'm the first off the rank, Phil, auctioning an apartment in Alma Road, St Kilda East. This is a ripper.
Gary, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, generous in size, Gary, and beautiful condition inside. I really like this one, and wow, look at the presentation. Wonderful.
Even without you, we're having 4 auctions at 12:30, Philip, and the first of those is going to be, well, not the first because they're all at 12:30, aren't they? But I'm going to be at 12:30 at Lygen Street, meeting Leon Guzenfitter and Ben Eisner.
Gary, great opportunity. I've had a number of calls personally on this property, 2 or 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking. But essentially what you're buying there is a house that's livable as it is, but right for redevelopment, refurbishment, because it's got lots of land.
It has Moonya Road, Carnegie. That's a special property that Graham Callan from our Carnegie office has got the pleasure of auctioning and handling.
Gary, you've got to love this one. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 lock-up garage. Neat as a pin, beautifully renovated throughout. That's a great property and the sort of property that we are recommending to our clients to buy.
Philip, St Kilda
But
West.
then again, Gary, we recommend our clients buy everything, don't we?
Not necessarily, Phil. But 98, we would recommend them to buy in St Kilda West because that's a great suburb, Phil. We've got this wonderful apartment. If it's still there, it may not be. 1 bedroom in St Kilda West, Jeremy Rosen's auctions for Adam Joski on Saturday.
Good looking building and beautifully renovated throughout. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a good property.
At 12:30, Leo Samuel's auctioning possibly the most valuable of our listings on Saturday, Philip, Snowden Avenue, Caulfield.
And situated on 553 square metres of prime Caulfield land, Gary. That's a house with lots of opportunity to further improve. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking. We love Snowden Avenue, don't we, Gary?
Sure do, Phil, just as much as we love Vale Street, St Kilda, right in the hub of buzzing, vibrant St Kilda. Nicky Janover is excited for this auction, and Jeremy Rosens is just as excited because he's the auctioneer.
Gary, I love Vale Street. It's so cosmopolitan. There we've got 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, a car space. That's a gorgeous property throughout. How schmick is that? Just fabulous.
Very schmick indeed, Philip. Mimosa Road, Carnegie is a great address. Leo Samuel's auctioning at 2:34, Graham, who's working on this property, Philip.
And Gary, Carnegie just gets better and better for us as we continue to build our market share. 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, stunning inside. A great opportunity exists there.
Then we go to 2:30 to the Avenue, Philip. I've always been confused about the Avenue. Is it the Avenue, or the Avenue Street, or the Avenue Grove, or just the Avenue?
Now, it's actually, Gary, probably one of the cleverer things you've said on this show for quite some time, is because, you know, you're right, actually, its name is just the.
Well, that's
right.
right.
Where do you live?
The.
You live
I
the.
live in the. Oh, is it the street, or the Grove, or the Crescent, or
the
Avenue?
So the street is actually the address of this property is 10 at 5B.
The. Well, come and see us at 10 at 5B the. We'll be there at 2:30, Philip. And Darren Crongold's been
Imagine if
having
it was 10 at 5B the Avenue Street.
Yeah, or the Avenue.
Or the Avenue Court.
If you had a stutter, it could be the Avenue, Philip.
Jeremy
Rosen's
enough,
options.
Enough of that nonsense, because
yes,
it is
indeed.
a good property, and we do love the Avenue. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. The Avenue, walking distance to the epicentre of St Kilda East, Balaclava, and Elstonwick, Gary. Love it there.
We are full of quality listings, Philip, and we've got one on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. that I'm auctioning, and it's in Fuller Street,
And
Caulfield
we know
South.
what you're full of, Gary. Number 1 at 6 Fuller Street in Caulfield South. I've got to tell you, funny we're not. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, lock-up garage, parking for 2 cars. That's a ripper.
And you're right, I am. I'm full of enthusiasm and excitement for that auction, Philip. We're going to be in Saturn Street, off the planet there, number 37 Saturn Street. This
Gary,
is a
you
great...
are the moon and the stars. You're my everything.
Thanks so much, Phil. 37 Saturn, that one goes up at 11:30, Phil. And
523 square metres of prime land with a really good house on it, Gary. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, off-street car parking for a couple of cars. We love Saturn Street. And yes, I said it once, I'll say it again, the moon, the stars, my everything.
Oh, thank
you. Who sang
you,
that
Phil.
song, Gary?
Oh, it was Barry White, wasn't it? For sure.
Absolutely.
Have to be, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
And Phil, you're going to be in another hemisphere.
Big Barry White.
I'm going to be in another planet. You'll be in another hemisphere. Think about that for a moment. 12:30, we're auctioning Hotham Street. Jeremy Rosens is out doing that one. It's a great block.
Hotham Street, what a great position. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, renovated throughout beautifully with a massive courtyard garden. Gary, that is fabulous.
As my daughter used to call it, Hot Ham Street, Phil, but not a lot of ham really on Hotham Street, is there? 12:30, Philip, we're going to be at 22 Kooyong Road, Caulfield North. Take us through this wonderful
Gary,
property.
this
Modern
building is virtually brand new, and it's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a basement car space, complete with a lift and a wonderful courtyard garden or deck, a timber deck, Gary. That's a great property. We like this building. We've done very well there.
We
too.
have. Rafi Joffe is the man for that building,
Rafi
Philip.
Joffe, yeah.
He is. And I'm finishing off, Phil, at 1:30 and my third auction. And the third and final auction of the day is in Bambra Road, Caulfield South. Take us through that.
A tired little Vegemite,
Not at
aren't
all.
you, in the evening?
Not at
Gary, 608 square metres of land with a very cool 50s, perhaps 60s home on it. I like that house. I like its floor plan.
It's cool,
Gary.
isn't
It's
it?
3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. You could renovate that house beautifully, or a possible new home site, subject, of course, to council approval.
Indeed, and that's a big wrap, Phil, for all of our offerings. 13 this weekend. Not a fantastically busy weekend, but some great opportunities across 6 or 7 different suburbs. Phil, it's going to be exciting. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about. Is that there's been a few GPTV imitations out there, by the way. 5 years. I've been
yes.
sending you a couple of GPT imitations. I don't think we're going to show them, Phil, but
Of course we're not going to.
because
We wouldn't even give them the time of day on the show.
But there are some people
it's been
it's taken
happening.
us 5 years.
It's been
There's a few cheap imitations out there. Beware of cheap imitations, because there is only one.
The only GPTV. Although I did see that another agency called their show
Initials,
something
TV,
TV. I
yes.
mean, get an original thought,
Yeah.
guys.
Just one.
Really, just one
Yeah,
in your
at some
lifetime.
stage.
Anyway, we're having fun with this show and
Setting the mood, setting the
Gary,
stage, setting
is
the
there
theme.
anything you'd like me to
setting the
bring
pace.
you back from overseas?
No, not really. Well, you know,
I
I
will
do
bring you a
like I do
gift.
like some cigars. You know, I like the cigars, and I know
I'm
they're
not
not
gonna
good for me.
I'm not going to promote smoking,
No,
Gary,
promote them.
on the
Just
show.
just
I'm not going to
quietly
give you
get
anything
some.
that, but I'm thinking I might buy you a nice tie, might buy you some Italian loafers. We do need to
Loafers?
update your look a little bit, but
Is that right?
I'm going to come back, Gary, with some new ideas on fashion, of real estate open for inspections, of course. But I'm going to miss you.
Yeah, well, I miss you too, but you know, not that much. But you have a great time
But
away.
I'm going to FaceTime you, Gary, because I like that whole FaceTime.
By the way, you
thing.
should do some footage when you're away, and we can put it on the show as well.
That would definitely make it tax
Yes.
deductible. If you are a tax lawyer and you're watching this show, because I know that
Yeah.
this is a very popular show amongst tax lawyers.
He's desperate to get this trip paid through the company.
But
by the way.
seriously, if I do get some footage of me doing something real estate orientated,
Yeah.
like having breakfast in a hotel,
Very real estate, yeah.
does that make it tax deductible?
Let's hear from those accountants out there. You can send us your ideas, please. We'd love to hear about the tax deductibility.
There's a high chance that there are a lot of accountants watching this show.
I do. I think their group of accountants show it at their conferences.
Could you email us what I do need to do on a holiday to ensure that it does pass the tax deductibility test?
The smell test.
Because I'm happy to do it, of course.
Yeah,
I'm happy
sure.
to do something that does, anyway.
Yeah, covering real estate. That's a big wrap on GPTV. The final, 5-year episode. So welcome again to 5 years, and thank you for viewing for 5
Let's see if
years.
we can get to 50, Gary.
Yeah, it'd be good, wouldn't it? Really good. We should.
Sit here
We're not ambitious much, are we?
drinking soup and
pureed vegetable dribbling on our
Spilling
chins.
it down,
Lovely,
yeah.
Sounds like a great image there, Phil. You have a wonderful time away.
Thank you, Gary.
I will miss you.
Hold the fort together, won't you?
I'll keep it together. We've got some special guests coming on. We'll have some footage from him. We've got some other surprises about you that we're going to show as well that you don't know about. But anyway, it's all happening on GPTV. The market is still strong. The clearance rates are still great.
I will send you some clips that you can show, right? Because I reckon if I get some clips on doing something real estate orientated, and we do put them in, like I'll say,
Well, why don't you
cut to me-
interview
why
an
don't-
Italian real estate agent?
Okay, you could cut
That'd be
to,
good.
if you cut to me on the show going, we're now going to live cross to Philip in Portofino. I'll find some Italian bloke that I can talk
Italian real estate agent,
to.
yeah.
Okay, and we'll weave it into the show.
We'll see what they look like. Stay tuned. Who knows what's going to happen? That'll be next week on GPTV. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. I'm Gary Pearce.
I'm Philip Kingston. I'm going to miss you all.